Denim. That is our canvas for today. Because today I'm painting Best Jeanist, the denim on denim wearing superhero from My Hero Academia. And if you're gonna paint someone in all that denim, you might as well go all in, right? And now I'd like to take a second to welcome all you lovely people to Laurel and Artistry. I use acrylic paint for this. It's kinda old, so it was getting a bit thick and annoying to spread, but I managed. Best Jeanist is a pro hero who starts out the series as the number 4 ranked hero in Japan, later moving up to number 3, and always being number 1 hero in my heart. He can manipulate fibers, making his power, or quirk as they are called in-universe, great for restraining villains, using his own threads or even trapping them in the clothes they're wearing. He has a quite long neck for some reason, which is covered in this sort of denim turtleneck thing, resembling the waistline of a pair of jeans. That's covered by a denim jacket, and of course a pair of jeans which he's got tucked into some boots. And those boots are brown. I shade in his skin. And paint a couple of belts, one being right in front of his face. Paint in his eye that's not covered by his hair. And now I embroider some French knots for buttons. Oops, not sure what nationality that last knot was, but I don't think it's French. Anyways, on to his blonde hair. I was originally just thinking of doing a painting on denim, but to further represent the character, it seemed like embroidering some details might be fun. Of course, I haven't done much embroidery, just cross-stitching mostly, so I apologize if it's not the best. Best Jeanist is a principled and disciplined man with a straight-laced philosophy on being a hero. He views heroes as an ideal, holding together the fabric of society, not just by fighting crime, but through setting a standard for how they present themselves, their speech, their way of dress, their conduct. Also woven into his character is a caring desire to reform wayward youths, tying up their loose threads before they continue to unravel into something difficult to mend. I finished sewing on his hair before outlining the entire figure in black thread. Best Jeanist is very much a minor character, but he's unique and has a fascinating character design. And in some ways I'd say we're cut from the same cloth when it comes to both interests and values. If not my very favorite character from My Hero Academia, he's a close second behind the world's coolest teacher, Mr. Aizawa. It's kind of fun to blend my love for painting with my love for sewing on this piece, as I haven't really got a chance to do a sewing video on this channel yet. This outlining is going to take quite a bit of time, but I'm already liking the effect it's adding. I've always been quite fascinated by superheroes, thinking about which powers I would most like to have, usually deciding on ice powers, and thinking of costumes to go with. But beyond that, I love the way they inspire. A good superhero story, yes, it should be fun, but more than that, it should point people towards the good, instill a desire to rise above, to live for something beyond yourself. It should make you think, it should make you laugh, it should make you cry. And My Hero Academia, it has everything a good superhero story should. I know the manga just recently concluded, but as someone who has never really gotten into that medium, I can only really go off the anime. But the world that was created was incredible, It's unique and detailed and immersive. I didn't know what to expect when I first watched the anime, but I was blown away by what the creator, Horikoshi, had envisioned. He clearly put lots of detail and effort into his creation, and that, as an artist myself, is inspiring. We're almost there, everyone. We're almost at the end of the outlining. Once I finally get that done, I add a few subtle details with blue thread. The blue thread didn't end up really being very visible, but aside from that, I'm quite happy with how it's coming together. Take off the embroidery hoop, and time to sew some seams. I basted everything in place and sewed it, trying to mimic the stitching you would see on jeans a bit, but it wasn't really thick enough denim to get the full effect. Using a stem stitch, I embroider a rope or cable for him to stand on. I do the other side, but I put the thread under the last stitch instead of over, like I did before, since I'm sewing in the opposite direction but want the rope to all look like it's twisted the same direction. I stitch on some smaller lines of rope by using fewer strands of floss to make it look further back in the distance. Now for a frame. I try to hammer some small nails into it, but that goes horribly. So I end up using some slightly protruding staples instead. Not ideal, but I make do. Twist thread around the staple and then back around itself. Now secure it to our fabric. I'll repeat that with the other cables before starting on the rest of the string that'll be holding the denim to the frame. I use a shiny white floss entwined with a string of blue to make these threads really pop. It gets a bit easier once I have enough threads attached to hold everything in place, but I make sure to add enough to where there's a satisfactory level of stability. Properly secure all those. I get the back cleaned up as much as possible and use some Mod Podge to sort of finish and seal everything in place, as well as reinforce the denim a tad by making it a bit sturdier. I also use it to keep this mess of threads right here tamed a bit. On the front, I add it to all my painted surfaces, as a bit of extra protection against potential chipping or cracking. Let that dry, and then I'm all set. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and that I'll see you again. In the meantime, remember, be strong as heavyweight denim and smart as tailor-made suits. Ciao!